So we're doing basic mini educator e-collar setup. If you turn your collar over, you see this large button here. It says on, off, and light. It has two functions, to power the remote and to turn on a light. Right now we're powering the remote. I'm gonna hold this down until you see it turn on. You'll see an LED light turn on. If I hold it down, you'll see it turn off, and it's off. So you really have to hold it down, okay? Because if you push it just once, it's gonna turn on the light. Holding it down is power, okay? You see a little red dot right there, little red dot right there. We're gonna pair those up. You will see the collar turn on because it'll flash green when I bump it, and the collar's on, okay? Now, as far as the collar, we'll come back to the remote. What we've got on this one right now is a bungee. This is an accessory that Mini Educator sells. You can get it to the point where you've got it set for the right appropriate tightness, and then it has a clip. So it makes it a lot easier to put this on and off. You're not always messing right here, and you're not always wondering, is it tight enough? This piece right here is amazing if your dog is wearing the collar often. If they cough, if they're sleeping with it on, if there's any movement, it gives a little, so that it's not always throat punching them, and it's just a little more comfortable. This piece we have on right here is the Ultra Wing, and that is to ensure that your dog feels the collar. When we're certain that the dog can feel it, we can go lower on our stim levels. So we use these more often than not, because I really want to know when the dog's feeling it. If you're questioning that they're feeling it, I would highly suggest the accessory. So let's go to the remote. It's currently turned on. You can see that it kind of grayed out. That means that it went to sleep. It's just battery saving mode. If I just push this top button down, it comes back to life. The little smiley face right there, you should see it flashing green. That means it's fully charged. If it were flashing yellow, it's losing power. If it were flashing red, it's ready to die. So that's how you know your power, where your power's at on your collar. It's the same thing on the remote. Flashing green means fully charged. If it were flashing yellow, it would be dying. If it were red, you're pretty much out of juice and you need to charge your collar. If your dog's wearing this often, I usually recommend charging this overnight just to be on the safe side. It does hold a charge for a long time. The collar has a half-mile distance. It's fully waterproof as long as your charge points are pushed in. Make sure those little pieces are pushed in. If they're pulled out like this and water gets in there, they're not going to warranty your collar. So make sure those are in, and it's fully waterproof. Same thing here. Your charge point needs to be pushed in, fully waterproof, okay? When we're talking about using the collar and using this remote, it does quite a few things. So right now, let's see what it's set at. Might be able to hear that. It's set at a tone. You can set it at a tone, you can set it at a vibrate. That is your black T button here on the side. One single black T button does either a tone or a vibrate. Right now it's set to tone. If I want to toggle it to vibrate, it's a bit of a process. So you're gonna hold this down until it flashes. I'm gonna turn my number all the way to 0. I'm gonna hold the power button and push that tone. Hold power, push tone. Now I'm set at a vibrate. You can probably hear that vibrate, okay? If I wanna go back to tone, it's still on a 0. I'm gonna hold my power and press my T. Now I'm on a tone. So you don't push them at the same time. You hold the power, then push the T button, and that'll get you back to your vibrate, okay? I'm gonna put this on, actually I'll keep it on vibrate for now. So let's say I'm using vibrate on a dog. Let me go up on the level here a little bit. You can see that I've got it set to C. There's a constant button on there. The little C next to the, is it on a 10? What's it on? 5 next to the 5 means constant. I actually prefer this mode because you can do one tap with a constant or you can hold it down and it'll continue working your dog. So right now it's on a vibrate. If I hold this down, you can probably see the red light going. It's continuing to vibrate until I let it go. Okay, so I've got a continuous vibrate until I let it go. You can do the same thing on this side. This is where your stim comes in, or your stimulation. It's not a true shock. It's not meant to make your dog go, wow. It's just meant to make your dog go, what was that? So you can start educating, Mini Educator, and teaching them, okay? So if I've got it set at a 5 right now, and I say, Ollie, come, and he doesn't come, I can say, Ollie, come, and I can hold that collar down, and you see the red going off. So it's continuing to give a stimulation until he starts coming to me, and I let it go. Okay, so the continuous is really nice. Okay, so that's your stim button there on the side. That black S button is your stim. How do we set the stim? I'm gonna hold this down again. You'll see the 1D start flashing. That means that I can change my number. So I can go all the way up, I can go all the way down. It goes all the way to 100. It'll just say hi. Okay, I would never, ever, ever, ever go that high. So let's say our dog is at a 9 or 8 or a 10. We'll take the 10. The 1D is still flashing. That means if I touch this, it can change my stim number. I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna hold this down and it just locked it in. So now if I bump this, it does not change my stim number, okay? Now, if my dog is training with the black S on a 10 and that's a good number for them, beautiful. Let's say they ignore me or they take off or they run across the street and you have a panic moment. This red button here on the side will immediately add 5 to your stim and it goes straight to 15. So it's a nice kind of backup. It's called a boost. It's a backup button, okay? Goes from 10 to 15, it adds 5 to your regular stim number, okay? So that's kind of your setup. One more thing I want to show you that this collar does. So if I push, remember my on, off, and light switch button, if I push it once, I get a flashing light. If I push my on, off button again once, I get a solid light. It's a really cool feature if you're walking your dog at nighttime, like I do. If I push it again, it goes off. Okay, so once again, one push gives you a flashing light. Another push gives you a solid light. Another push and it's off. Okay, so that's your mini educator.